right, it is 4 o'clock. I'll call the Plan Commission meeting to order. I'll call the roll. Braden?
Here.
Jerry?
Here.
Kim?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Kevin?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
All right, gang's all here. If folks could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of approval state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Hearing none, minutes are approved. All right, so we have a full agenda today with some important items. So first, we're going to start with the public hearings for some of the aforementioned items. So the public hearing portion will be for folks from the public who wish to provide any input on the project. And then we'll go into the items for action portion, where we'll do the staff report, and then the applicants can add anything if they want. So with that being said, we have 3 public hearings this evening. First one is a public hearing regarding the conditional use permit with exceptions by Kapoor and Associates to construct a building addition to the urban middle school located at 1226 North Avenue. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item? Anyone wishing to be heard? Hearing none, is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of closing the hearing, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Chair votes aye. That hearing is closed. All right, next one. Public hearing regarding application for conditional use permit with exceptions by Kapoor and Associates to construct a building addition at Farnsworth Middle School located at 1017 Union Avenue. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard on this item? Anyone wishing to be heard? Hearing none. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of closing the hearing, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Chair votes aye. That hearing is closed. Item 7, public hearing regarding application for conditional use permit with exceptions by Cautious Construction to operate a phased pizza location at 1803 Calumet Drive. Anyone from the public wishing to provide input on this item? Anyone wishing to be heard? Last call. Hearing none, is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of closing the hearing, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Chair votes aye. That hearing is closed. All right, next, item 8, application for conditional use permit with exceptions by Kapoor and Associates to construct a building addition at Urban Middle School located at 1226 North Avenue. Elise, staff report?
The project involves a significant addition and renovation of the existing public school facility. The project will modernize the existing structure to remain and be comprised primarily of an addition to the north and west.
All right. Is the applicant here? Okay, you guys have any things you'd like to add?
Sure.
Cool. Yeah, if you want to come up to the mic. If you just want to introduce yourself and...
Yes. Hi, my name is Nate Constein with Bray Architects, and with me is Nick Tennyson with Kapoor and Associates, architect and then civil engineer on the project. Specific to this site, as many of you know, the intent is to restore the original significance of the urban middle school building. You can see in some of the renderings that were included in the packet that the entire kind of southern facade that faces North Avenue is being restored back to all of the original windows, and then the additions wrap around starting in the southwest corner and then wrap around the north side that eventually face North High School. I'm happy to answer any questions related to the project, but I do just want to commend the city, its tax constituents, the school district, and our appreciation of being a part of this project and trying to restore some of the historical significance to the building.
All right, sounds good. Questions from commission members? Questions, Braden?
Yeah, for this setup, what is the intended primary entryway for the students? Is it the west side now where the parking lot is? It's the north side where it faces the street?
Yes, the main entry will now be on the west side of the facility. As part of the site plan, you will see that there is new paving drop-off being dedicated on the west side of the facility. If you were to look at the site plan, the southern entrance that is currently the main entrance will still be an entrance for students, but that will not be the guest entry to the building.
Got it, okay. And have you had conversations then around bus drop-off? Is that on North or is that on 13th or 12th, whatever that street on the west side of it is?
Yes, so good question. The way the site is set up is we feel very passionately that we don't want to cross parent traffic with bus traffic. So if we were to look at the site plan, the west side has a loop on the site with entrance part of the way up on the western street, and that is primarily parent loop on that side. North Avenue, obviously very limited, not expecting anything on that side. And then as buses come from North Avenue, they would stage I said North Avenue. As they come from North High School, they will stage on that street in a dedicated curb cutout to allow traffic to continue to process south on that street. So buses on the east and parents on the west.
Got it, okay. And the south-facing entrance is still available for students to enter that way if they're walking or whatever it may be?
That's correct.
Right, okay. I don't have any other questions then, thank you.
Joe?
Hey, could you tell us a little about the bioswale, the bioretention basin in that southeast corner, just what that's expected to look like?
Nick Tennyson, Kapoor & Associates, civil engineer. So I've worked on designing the bioretention basin. Its main purpose is to take water from the building and just detain it for a time before releasing it to the street, because currently the storm sewer in the street's not large enough to handle the amount of flow that would come from the building. So the bioswale will remain dry for most periods of time, and then after a rainfall event, it fills up 2 to 3 feet, and then it will drain out within 48 hours. And the bottom's covered with native plantings that look very nice in the summer.
So it's unfenced and it's native plantings, it's not just grass.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And it's only 3 feet deep, so
Yeah.
and not filled with a permanent pool of water.
Thank you.
If I may add to that, the school district is looking at what we're calling an alternate bid solution, in which that bioretention basin would go away and stormwater would be able to be held underground. That's a very expensive solution. So given the budgetary constraints, we're going to see how bid day rolls forward over the next few months. And I will say worst case, if that's, I don't know if that's the perfect verbiage, but would have the retention basin. And if we have a very good bid day, then the water would then be stored underground, and that would just be grass space as it is today.
Kim, you got a question on that one?
As a person who has lived in that neighborhood for a very long time, suddenly having 3 feet of water with middle schoolers doesn't seem like a great idea to me.
Yes, so it is unfortunately from when that building was originally constructed to where we are today, the DNR has very specific standards to how we are able to treat stormwater runoff. And this is the most common way to do this at schools across the state, including in several schools in the city of Sheboygan. As noted, we are doing our best to give ourselves an option that would move away from that, assuming we can afford it as a school district and applicant, but that 2 to 3 feet would be for a very short period of time. And once the plantings become mature growth, no one's gonna go in there. Like it is thickened kind of natural grasses.
So where are the other schools within the city that do use that?
I can get back to you. I can go look right now, but I don't have that off the top of my head. I was alerted through the school district that they do have this, I believe, at Pigeon Creek Elementary School. Pigeon River, thank you. That's one that comes to mind, but I believe there are a couple of others.
Thank you. I'll look forward to that information.
I will get it shortly.
Mike?
Yeah, as a former urban middle school student, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I am sad to see the auditorium in that section of the school go. But if you could just go into some detail about what's planning on going into the proposed building that's in that area right now?
Yes, I believe everyone is sad to see that portion go. I think that's a significant portion of that building. It has a lot of history to that portion of the building. And hopefully by looking through some of the renderings or the plans, you will see that the facade of that, trying to remember what was there, what is there currently, is still remembered. And actually, when you come in to the lobby that many of you may remember as, say, the auditorium lobby, that lobby will still remain. All the historical kind of nods that you can remember and expect between the light fixtures and the very unique soffitting details, all of those will still remain, except for once you go through there, you will be greeted into a 21st century tech ed department. So tech ed then suddenly moves to that portion of the building in comparison to where they're lodged, which is not overly conducive to getting materials in and things like that. That tech ed, and then also where there are some classrooms to the south side of the current auditorium, that will be the new music suite. So as you come out of that lobby, you will be going into the new 21st century tech ed department and then the new 21st century music department. So really kind of putting that area on display.
Just one follow-up?
Yeah.
Is there any effort to preserve, retain any of, I know there's a lot of Art Deco, things like that in that auditorium and that whole area. Is there any effort that's going to be going on to retain and maintain any of those pieces or incorporate them into other parts of the construction?
Yes, we are looking at maintaining some unique pieces of wood pieces, things like that, throughout that area. Unfortunately, not everyone likes to hear this, but there is quite a bit of asbestos in that auditorium, so not everything can be salvaged. As you think about some of the detailing on the walls and things like that, the district is trying to continue to evaluate as they review the hazardous material survey what can and can't be salvaged, and that will be accounted for before any construction were to begin.
Great. Thank you.
All right, other questions from commission members? Kevin?
When we talked earlier, so this is more towards the civil side, there were some concerns about emergency vehicle access with that west parking lot. Are you still, is that extra sidewalk on the very southern end still there as a way for the fire trucks to enter that west parking lot? Because some of the turn radiuses are pretty tight.
Yeah, I guess I thought that we left off on the sidewalk on the north side of the building being a 20-foot wide access so that fire trucks could get to the rear of the building, but then they would reverse out of there.
And then they can come off of North Avenue into the parking lot? Is that still the intent?
Oh, yes. That actually, I can't see the screen very well. That might not have made it into this planning commission submittal, but in the bid documents, we did include that strip of concrete between North Avenue and the parking lot.
Okay, thank you.
Question, Kim?
So there are no plans that we can see at this time of replacing the auditorium?
May I ask just a clarifying question? Is the question, are we replacing the auditorium on the site?
Correct.
Correct. The district is not planning to replace the auditorium at the middle school building. Historically, if it's worth anything, schools, although urban is a little bit unique, that have had auditoriums at the middle school level often were grandfathered buildings where they were high schools and then became middle schools as districts have grown. So for a period of time there, many schools had at the middle school level started to become having auditoriums. That's not the case here. The school district is committed to knowing that this is a loss of space, committed to enhancements at both the north and south campuses at their auditoriums to push any events to those different auditoriums. There's also no space on this site for an auditorium.
Other questions from commission members? Questions, motions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Final thoughts? Any other thoughts, questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approval state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Chair votes aye. That one is approved. All right, item 9, architectural review for the proposed building addition at Urban Middle School located at 1226 North Avenue. Elise?
The new addition will consist primarily of a proposed 3-story classroom addition that would match the existing facility in scale compared to the surrounding residential neighborhood. The new exterior materials are comprised of brick and stone to match the existing to remain.
Does the applicant have anything to add in terms of architectural components?
No, but happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Joe?
Please. A couple of minor things that I'm not going to get into. The one question I did want to ask, on the south elevation, the original main elevation of the building, the windows that you're putting back in, obviously a huge improvement to what's there now with the window infills. I was a little disappointed with how much spandrel is going in there rather than being able to get those all back to full light windows. Can you talk a little about why you went the route you did?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the renderings are necessarily truly depicting what the spandrel will depict, especially in daytime. At daytime, you won't really realize they are spandrel. I think spandrel mostly shows up at nighttime when the building has lights on, and then you can really kind of see that. As far as why, we're focusing a lot today on exterior, and we're talking a lot about the site. However, this building will be completely renovated on the interior. So that means we are removing walls, we are placing walls in new locations, there's new HVAC traces, things like that. For instance, some of the classrooms, if we were to look at the image on the screen, up at the second and third levels in the middle are some of the FCS labs and some of the art classrooms that are quite expansive. And we'll be able to get a lot of natural light in there, which is going to be fantastic. But with some of these moving of walls and things like that, and then you look at the regularity of how often those windows get placed, the new wall locations to understand 21st century in the next 30 to 50 years, right, of this site just didn't play nice with the regular window pattern on the existing building. For instance, the classroom sizes are at least 20% bigger than they were when this building was originally constructed. So we did our best to try to avoid them. It was hard to avoid all of them.
Otherwise, I would just say thank you for your efforts to try to use some of the Art Deco elements and at least get a flavor of that into the new construction and to be modernizing a beautiful old building for the city.
Cool. Other questions for item 9? Questions, comments, motions?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Moved and seconded. Final thoughts? Seeing none. All those in favor of approval state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Chair votes aye. That is approved. All right. Item 10, application for conditional use with exceptions by Kapoor and Associates to construct a building addition at Farnsworth Middle School located at 1017 Union Avenue. Elise?
The project involves a significant addition and renovation of the existing facility. The project will modernize the structure, shift the primary campus orientation to the south, and increase student capacity modestly.
All right. Does the applicant have any additional comments to add regarding Farnsworth?
No, but again, to answer any questions, here to answer any questions.
Okay. Questions from the committee? Braden?
Yep, I'll mirror my previous question around orientation, drop-off for parents versus buses. It looks like there's staff on the north side, parents on the east side of this. Is that correct? And then
That's correct. Buses planned on the west side of the site and parents planned on the east side. You can see we're identifying some curb cutouts for some of those drop-off locations, and then staff parking to the north side. It was important to the school district as we went through this process that as we understand that we need to build on the south side, have basically 2 buildings up or 1 mega building for a short period of time up until things can get resituated. There's obviously going to be some growing pains with that, but is really to actually put a fence up along the north side of the site to really restrict any sort of drop-off occurring on that busy thoroughfare. So really encouraging all parent drop-off on the east and buses on the west.
Got it. And then likewise, the main entrance, is that facing south as well?
The main entrance on this site would face east.
Face east, okay.
So similar to the project that you just looked at, we are proposing parent drop-off on the front of the building and buses in a different side.
Front being 10th Street? Front?
Yes, that is correct.
Street, buses on 11th?
That is correct.
And Union Avenue will not be involved?
Union Avenue has a fence along the parking lot to prevent anyone from walking through that side.
And with the, can I?
Yeah, go for it.
With the, sorry.
No, it's okay.
With the footprint, not having quite the change of urban, then there's no retention pond, no drainage areas.
Just due to the
not
drainage
seeing it.
patterns on the site and space limitations, there's 2 underground storage systems on this one.
Is what?
There's 2 underground storage systems proposed.
So no surface.
No, yeah, no.
Okay, so you've already built that in, even though it's more expensive? That's already
Unfortunately, we
being
didn't
built
have
in?
a choice on this.
Didn't have, okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Other questions from commissioners?
Make a motion to approve?
Moved and is there a second? Moved and second. Further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Hearing none, chair votes aye as well. That one is approved. Next, architectural review for the proposed building addition to Farnsworth Middle School located at 1017 Union Avenue. Questions? Joe?
Obviously ashamed to see the old building come down with the historic character of it, but I understand the phasing needed and to be able to reuse the site. So I commend you for being able to make that work. And otherwise, it's a nice, modern, sleek middle school building. I think it overall works quite nicely.
Thanks for those comments. I guess I have some comments on this, and as a fellow Farnsworth graduate, this, building, I believe it was a WPA project built around that time period, if I'm correct. I guess in any conversations for the design, I really like how Urban pays a little homage to, when it was constructed. This one, while it does look modern, it's really lacking some of those historical components, of it being a WPA project, because I know this site's a little more complex and difficult. Was there any thought kind of given to pay a little homage architectural, I can't say the word today. There we go, to this building. So first question. And then second one, with Union Avenue being kind of the main thoroughfare during the day for traffic, not necessarily for school drop-off, I'm just wondering if there was any additional thought in terms of, and I believe I'm looking at the right one on slide 8. Oh, it's 8 on mine. But the Union Avenue facing side, if there was any other components giving it to it being, that's on the main drag there, of any, anything just to make it look nicer, on Union Avenue, I guess, with it being the backside of the school. I don't know, that was more rambly than a question.
Edge.
What's
It'd
that?
be the north side of the school, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
East facing is onto 10th Street.
correct.
Yeah, because I think I'm looking at the Union Avenue side, and just looks boxy for being on the main drag.
Yeah, so if I may try to address both of those. So the overarching sentiment, right, is that we have to work with the existing building being occupied while we build the building. The portion that we are saving is, I'm going to reference it as the 90s gym edition. The 90s gym edition does pay homage in materiality, just as far as color, some of the accents, but doesn't go as far as some of the maybe historical nods of the original building. But the color, tonality, some of the detailing is still there. As we attach on, we are attaching to the 90s edition, and then that's really the only portion that is remaining. We do have to work through, as we attach, what that looks like, and then how it works to remove the existing facility and then reclad that face, and then also understand what the functionality of that is. So I believe that the school district, as we look at the macro of the site, was excited at this property as they've, I'm blanking on the elementary school on the north side of town, but has a section of turf on the property that is fenced in that is really functional almost 12 months out of a year. Yeah. On such a tight site in this case, I think the school district is very excited to be able to plan for turf on the eastern side of the site. Basically the spot that is not building and that is not parking lot is turf in that northeasternly corner, very similar to the elementary school in town. So there was some intentionality around that. As far as architecturally and how everything ties together, we really designed both the Urban Middle School site and the Farnsworth Middle School site in tandem. So as we approached the urban site and we knew the historical significance that site had on it, the importance, there was obviously a community vote, a survey before referendum about keeping the historic facade and a lot of feedback on that site. There was not, at least pre-referendum, a lot of conversation about any historical significance to the facade of the Farnsworth site. That aside, we still studied it. Okay, so one of the pieces that we asked the school district was, is this something that as we go through these two middle school designs, knowing that we're going to pay homage to the urban site, that we want to follow a similar path on the Farnsworth site, or do we want to create kind of a new, exciting, a little bit more modern facility for the next 60 plus years, right, on that site? The school district's desire was, we're open to looking at something different, as long as it still has some of the materiality functions of the original facility. So that was the original direction from the school district. We then took a lot of the materiality that exists, as far as I'll call it the tan cream brick that exists on that facility, and that is the brick that is being used on this building. There's some, I'll call it more of a tan cream stone that exists on the existing facility that is now being the same color palette, however, in a metal panel. So the colors are more or less coming through in different shapes and forms, but I'll say the architectural design features was just a different strategy on that site.
Okay.
And then as far as the north side goes, we did look at that, but as far as how we receive building maintenance and receiving on that side, because the kitchen is on the north side, and then trying to get some windows in kind of past that vertical piece will allow some windows to be in the hallway that is by the current gym. So we are enhancing it. The rendering doesn't maybe focus on that so much, but the engagement piece is really in the northeast corner of the building, which is the cafeteria. So as people are going down Union, they should be able to see that cafeteria from Union and then draw their eyes to the front of the building.
Okay. Other questions from commission members? Kim?
Looking at the two schools and looking at the color of I'm going to call it a soft red and the soft green, and the incorporation of their logo or their emblem, what is that called? Mascot. Is that something that should be that large out on the building? Is that something that can be changed if it's decided to change it? And more about